Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're having a great week. Hope you've been active on the index. There's been a lot of changes happening. If you've been asleep at the wheel, you might find some of your positions have just dropped off a cliff, or you might find you've had a wee sleeping giant, a wee bargain has maybe just shot up. There's been a lot of movement, a lot of changes. It's the last Friday of the month of February, guys, and if you look at the footy here in the top right, it's taken a massive jump. We're getting close to that 65,000 mark now. So there's been a lot of money slushing about, a lot of money getting added into the index on the back of the Champions League and Europa League games, how they've all panned out, the first leg results. Champions League and Europa League, the round of 32 is now away and done. Teams have qualified and been eliminated. We did a video about 2 weeks ago saying it was going to be a massive week ahead, and the introduction of the Champions League and Europa League coming back into it, you're going to see a lot of movement based on elimination and qualification through the rounds of that. And if you've been on the index the last 2 weeks, you'll 100% seen this firsthand, exactly the effect this can have on players in the short term, if you're a short term holder or if you've got short term positions. So you need to, if you are hedging your bets on these types of things, you really need to have your finger on the pulse. Okay, I also just want to refer back 2 seconds. We're doing a 100 subscriber giveaway. This is my Twitter. You'll find me here at Q_Tang_clan. It's a Wu-Tang reference, if you're not aware. And yeah, so this tweet here that's pinned, all I want you to do, guys, is comment your best buy on Football Index of 2019. If you want to throw a screenshot in, even better. And we'll make the deadline for it. Let's give it over the weekend. So let's say by Monday morning, I'll go in and I'll make a ballot of, we've only got 8 entries now, which is mental, It's a free giveaway, guys. I'm just giving you stuff because I'm very grateful for all the subscribers and all the views that we're getting. I'm very, very thankful for. I've got a little picture here of the prizes. It's nothing to, I'm not giving you £1 million or anything like this, I collect a lot of stuff in my spare time, and I'll try and keep it something football orientated. Okay, so over here we've got a collector's edition, limited edition Juan Sebastian Veron in mint in box Man United kit. It's a really nice little figure. I've got about 5 Verons, Lazio kits and Argentina kits and special boxes and all this type of stuff. We've then got a world greats Luis Figo with a gold base, again mint in box. It's got a little bit of discoloration because when I first bought it when I was like 12, this is how old this thing is, or all these things. I displayed it on like a window shelf, so it's got a little bit of discoloration in the box, but the figure itself is perfect. And then we have a ultra limited pack Emmanuel Petit in a Chelsea kit, which again is a lovely little figure. And guys, you don't need to keep these in the box. You can do whatever you want with them. It's a free gift I'm basically giving away. Stick it on your dashboard in your car, put it on your computer desk, wherever you want to put it, And like I say in the tweet, it's not really a first, second, third scenario. The 3 winners, I'll just coordinate with the 3 of these, and if these are happy to accept one each, like, I'll take the Chelsea one, and I'll, then cool. And if not, then we'll negotiate and flip coins or do whatever. Okay, guys, I don't care if you follow me on Twitter. I don't really care about retweets and all that stuff. I'm just using this as an easy way of finding you and then using a ballot to pick a winner from. Okay, so no pressure on that, guys. I don't care if you follow me on Twitter. I don't really care about Twitter too much. But anyway, back to business. Okay, so we're going to be calling the video something along the lines of, should you buy Ronaldo? Okay, now Ronaldo's been the big mover off the back of the first Champions League round, and he's just plummeted. He's actually had a little bounce back. This is like my third take on the video. I had phone calls and stuff coming through. He was down at 749. He's made a little tiny bounce back to 752. He's ridiculously cheap right now. If you think about Operation Coleman that we launched last week, the reason we bought Coleman the night he plummeted, because he'd snapped up 2 goals and an assist. So it just leveraged off any future downward movement. But with Ronaldo, that's not the case. So you want to be holding off on him until you get a kind of plateau of him being as low as you can possibly get him. You might miss out on 749, but if you pick him up at 755, just as an example, and you know that he's pretty stable about that price, and it's a much better buy, it's a much more confident buy than buying him at 749. You don't really know what's the next movement. Is it up, is it down, is it stagnation? So should you buy Ronaldo? Okay, so Ronaldo is now pretty much a year low. He's not been this low in so long, it's untrue. I can't believe how much he's dipped. Okay, the reason he's dipped, if you're not fully aware, So I was looking at Europa League when I did the last take of this video. There's even the game right there. So they lost 2-0 on Wednesday night away to Atletico Madrid. So no away goals, and they're going into the second leg in I think 3 weeks' time, the 12th of March. So yeah, just about 20 days, 3 weeks' time from now, and that's why his price is plummeted, guys. It looks like they're going to be eliminated on the basis of the first leg result, okay? Can Juventus turn it around in the Turin Stadium? Of course they can, okay? Between now and then, away at Bologna, at home at Udinese, could Ronaldo score some goals? Of course he could, okay? But also as well, we've got coming up, and this is the main thing about Ronaldo. Ronaldo's always going to be a long-term hold, okay? He's always going to be somebody you're going to hold long-term because of the price of him. And this is the main reason that I've not jumped on him straight away. Is expensive players, guys, they can move up in pounds and pennies well, okay? And Hudson-Odoi is a good example of that today. But in terms of your percentage or your penny on pound return, more expensive players take longer to make you the same level of profit as a cheaper player does, if that makes sense. So if you look at David Brooks, he's been up 20 pence in the last couple of days, the last week, okay? That's 5% increase he's had, okay, for 20 pence. If Ronaldo moves up by 20 pence, that's not 5%, you know. 5% of him is going to be about 35 pence, you know. So you need much more movement on these bigger price players to get the same percentage return. And if you're not playing with thousands of pounds, it's probably number one why you're watching me, because I like to try and keep this for the average man, you know, most people that are going to have a realistic budget that we can all kind of play with, you know. You're not all, you know, get 20 grand in this or 100 grand or whatever. But your pound on pound investment, guys, for him to raise 20%, we need him to move by £1.50, you know. And could he move from here to £9? Yes, he could. But for him to do that in the short term, Juventus need to knock out Atletico Madrid, okay? In the long term, but Ronaldo has a few extra things going his way. If we look, can we find it here easily enough? No, we can't, unfortunately. Let's see if we can do it. No. What we want to look at, guys, is national football. Okay, this is where it's going to get really interesting for you. Okay, so we've got the UEFA Nations League. This is a qualifying competition, okay? And Portugal are in the final. It's hosted in Portugal. This isn't going to be until June, okay? But Ronaldo's going to be the main man here, and if you think he's not going to be sniffing about that £10 mark, then I'm going to say right now, you're probably crazy, because there's only 4 teams playing. Ronaldo is a massive media magnet, so if he scores and, you know, they get past Switzerland and into the final, then even better, okay? But in March, there's also an international, Euro qualifiers. Ronaldo doesn't have a great track record of always turning up to friendlies, but he's got a good track record of turning up to games where he's needed for qualification purposes, okay? So Ukraine at home and Serbia at home at the back end of March is another opportunity. Even if Juventus get knocked out of the Champions League, where Ronaldo can really shine and earn you some dividends on the media side of things. The guy's a media magnet, I should say, sorry. Okay, so the price he's at now, guys, is very, very appealing, okay? But his price yesterday was really appealing as well, at £8, you know. His price immediately after, in the aftermath of the game, when he was on this big blue candlestick here, coming down from £9.15 down to like £8.29, where I picked up 5 of them, was very attractive. But he's kept on dropping and dropping and dropping. And like I said in the past with Felix, it's the same with people that rise, it's the same with people that drop, guys. You want to be finding them on a plateau. You want to be finding them on somewhere where they're leveling out, where people are committed to holding them. And the situation with Felix now is quite solid. You know, you might get a little bit of change out of him. As you can see with these candlesticks, he's peaking down at $5.99 and peaking back up in little increments. But it's the same principle, okay? When people are dropping, if you've not got that caveat like we had with Coleman of goals and assists in the bank that you can buy, then you want to be finding them level out before you jump on them, okay? Now Ronaldo, I'll say it again, guys, he is going to bounce back, okay? Now where he bounces back from, is it £7.50, is it £7.20, is it £7 flat, is it £6? Who knows? Only time will tell. Where will he bounce back to? Okay, that's the key question here. Okay, so if you look at the last year, he's peaked out at £12 and he didn't really hold that level for too long. Okay, because at Juventus he's not been scoring the goals that he scored for Real Madrid. He's not been getting 40 goals a season. But he's still been scoring. He's still been doing well for, he's been 34 and playing with a top team. But the guys that are up at that level, like Vinicius and Sancho and all this type of stuff as well, they've got other things going for them, transfers and whatever. But Ronaldo is an established media presence. The guy sneezes and people write news stories about him. And I tell you this as well, on the night, if Juventus get knocked out, I promise you this, Ronaldo will win the media buzz, unless like Griezmann scores like 5 goals or something like that. Okay, so he's got guaranteed dividend potential in him. Okay, and with these holds, guys, that's why I'm citing the Portugal stuff as well. If these more expensive players, Hazard, they need to be longer term holds. They need to be, you can't hold them for a couple of days or for a week unless something extraordinary happens. These more expensive players, you do need to hold them for longer because of the percentages involved, the spread that's involved as well. And just basically, it depends on your goals. Ultimately, it depends on your goals. But I'm not going to buy Ronaldo at £7.52 for him to move up 10 pence and then sell him, because the commission on that is 15 pence. Do you know what I'm saying? So you need to really, before you jump into a big player like this, especially when he's on a downward, is you need to know, number one, what's the worst case scenario? Is he going to fall more? Can I accept that? Number two, let's say I've got him at a stagnation. Where is the break-even point? Is that realistic to see that break-even point come over the horizon within the next, and then whatever period of time you want to lay out, 2 weeks, a month, a week, whatever it may be. And that's the way you really need to look at it. £7.50 is, I'm making a today for me is payday. I'll be making a deposit later today, and I'm between Ronaldo, and I'll even just let you know who else I'm looking at for my purchase today. And it's Zaniolo. He's dropped down to a really nice level, and I really like the look of Roma coming up, especially to get past Porto, and if this boy does well in the upcoming matches. Yeah, I'm really excited about buying some Zaniolo, I think. So I'm between Zaniolo. But even look at this, right? If Ronaldo moves up 17 pence, right, that's break even. If he moves up 17 pence, that is 6 pence profit. If you get me, because his commission's 11 pence a share, or just thereabouts. So you need to understand that, guys, when you're buying these more expensive players, that you've got a security there long term, because of they're valuable, guys, and they're this expensive because they practically guarantee you a media presence, potential for media buzz, goals, assists, best striker of the day. This is why these people are so expensive, But if you even look at, wow, Ronaldo's 16th, man. It's just, he's so cheap, it's ridiculous. But could he be cheaper? Yes, he could, of course. But you need to be aware, guys, when you're in this you're in this region of really from like the top 30-ish, you need to be really thinking about how long you're holding these people for, and you need to have, there's people buying Ronaldo, so should you buy Ronaldo? The answer is it's a bloody great time to buy him. What kind of time scale do you need on him to make a decent profit and to be happy with the holding? I would say at least until that UEFA Nations League, because at that time there's going to be no other football on other than what was the games? Switzerland, Portugal, and Netherlands, England, and then it's a final. And see if that final is Portugal, England, then all those players involved, that's the only game it's going to be on. You know what I mean? It's a really good horizon for you to look at for your people like your Sanchos and your Rashfords, and also we're talking about Ronaldo, and see if that boy Felix gets into this Portugal squad for that as well. By the way, you can see him doing something. You can see him doing Sancho numbers very easily, and Portugal have got a history of doing that. If you think back to the Euro Championships that they won, Renato Sanchez was a wee wonder kid at Benfica, just like Felix. He got into the team and he was young player of the tournament, and moved to Bayern Munich for 35 million euros. So Portugal have got a history of that. So Felix is another one you might want to keep your eye on if you believe he's going to make that move. Okay, now on Felix, guys, we spoke about the Champions League and a bit about Ronaldo. Let's have a look at the Europa League. Okay, So with the Europa League, we've got all the teams that have qualified. Okay, Benfica get past Galatasaray, and Benfica they're not a favourite to win the tournament. Okay, but if you compare them to the other teams, who would you say is more dangerous than Benfica? Arsenal on paper, Sevilla probably, Frankfurt maybe, Chelsea on paper, Napoli yes, Inter probably, Salzburg maybe. Okay, so Benfica are amongst the most dangerous teams in this competition. So what you want to be keeping your eye on, especially for somebody like Felix or any of these other teams or any of these other players you may be looking at in the Europa League, is you need to have either, if you've got somebody you're holding, they're out, great, okay, but if you've got loose capital in your balance and you're looking at any of these players involved or any of these clubs that are involved in the Europa League, you want that money to be sitting ready to be spent. And then what you want to do is chill out and wait for the draw to happen. I've not checked out when the draw happens. It's going to be Friday or Monday after the round. Normally that's the way it works. I've not heard anything today, so I don't think the draw's happening today. I'm sure they've heard something by now. It normally is about this time of day as well, about midday. So it's probably not today. I'd say it's not. Could be Monday, but we'll find out, and I'll maybe do a tweet, or if you know guys, that's probably the best thing to do. If you know when they draw for the Europa League is, leave a comment in the video and let everyone else know. So you want that money sitting there, and as soon as the draws come out the hat, whoever gets, like, imagine Benfica pull out Slavia Prague, guys like Felix and that João Philip, and they're just going to shoot right up, you know. Or if they get Napoli, they'll maybe stagnate. They might, you know, a few things could happen. But if a great draw comes out the hat for, we're using Benfica and Felix as an example, but even Arsenal or Chelsea, they get a great draw. They get Dinamo Zagreb or they get Slavia Prague. These are the great draws I'm thinking about. Rennes, you could say, is a really good draw. They're not doing too well in the league this year. Kiev, you could probably say, is a decent draw. Going away to Ukraine, no one fancies that, obviously, but they're not the Dinamo Kiev of 1999 or 1998, whatever year it was. They did really well. Far from it. Okay. So that's just what I wanted to chat to you about, guys. There's been another bit of breaking news this morning. You've probably heard Chelsea have been, they've had a transfer embargo put on them for the upcoming summer and January transfer window. They can't sign anyone else, okay? So that's why you see this little Chelsea trio here up in the trending list, because if Chelsea can't sign anyone, then they are going to be finally forced. They're going to be forced by FIFA to actually play their youth players and make use of their youth system, okay? So that's why these guys have popped up in price, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, guys, I quick sold 6 Aubameyang and I quick sold my Ronaldo, just got them off the books, and I went and I got myself some Mason Mount as soon as I heard the news on the radio. As soon as I heard the news on the radio, it was like, I think he was maybe about 263 or something like this, and by the time I pulled over, quick sold those guys and bought him. He'd already went to 274. He was on a real spike as soon as the news broke, you know, and I think he's going to continue to rise. The reason I went for Mount, I didn't actually think of Abraham. I might have bought Abraham had I thought of him, but the thing with Mount is he's got such a great rep, you know, in terms of what he's done for Derby this year, what he did at Vitesse Arnhem last year, and there's also these links that Lampard might take over from Sarri, just because they don't like Sarri, and if they've got a transfer embargo, they're going to want guys like Lampard and Jody Morris coming in and knowing what youth players could walk into that team and be of that standard, you know. So Mason Mount is definitely somebody out of these three that I fancy the most, because he's cheaper than Hudson-Odoi and he's got a great pre-established ceiling of £3.50. So if he gets anywhere near that, guys, that's for me, that's close to a 50% return, you know, and I'd be really happy with that. I'd sell him probably then and there. But again, equally, guys, you want to hold him longer. He might break into the England team, who knows? It's not likely from the Championship. If anyone was going to do it, they'd probably been Sessegnon last year. But yeah, so making money out of misery. We also got Cancelo after he got on the floor with 267. We're quite happy with that. And otherwise, yeah, the reason Kolarov is for sale is we use that money to go into Zaniolo, because I don't really see the point in having 10 Kolarovs when I could have 3 Zaniolos, when I'm basically back in Roma anyway over the next couple of weeks. So Kolarov's did really well for us, guys, and he is a real solid buy. He doesn't really drop in price too much. He doesn't really move too much higher as well. You know, I've had him at 161. But as soon as Roma get past Porto, if that happens, you can maybe get a wee rise out of Kolarov, but he scores goals, takes penalties, takes corners, takes free kicks. It's been a really, really good hold, but I just fancy Zaniolo now. That's who I'm kind of moving towards. Okay, guys. So should you buy Ronaldo? The answer is yes. The other question you want to ask yourself is he on the floor? Is he on the floor? And I think a second ago he was 752. He could quite easily hover around that 750 mark, guys, but he's somebody you really want to be keeping an eye on. If you're a long-term holder, you're somebody who wants to hold for the longer term. And even Vinicius is at a great price now. He's dropped 28 pence, as you can see here. At £11 a share, his 2% is 22 pence for your break even. So even if he just returns to what he's just lost in the last 24 hours, not even 24 hours, and you're a break even. Yeah, just about 24 hours. So he's somebody else to keep an eye on. The decrease list, guys, is really where you want to be living when you're buying a player. It's great buying people when they're shooting up at like a Mason Mount and you're catching them on a wave or whatever as well, but you're missing a lot of profit. You know, you want to be, as I always say, guys, you want to be ahead of the crowd. You want to see the crowd coming, okay? And the decrease list is your best pal. All you need to do, if you're not sure about the decrease list, is ask my pal Bradley. Where is he? Where are you, Bradley? I said I'd mention you by name and I remembered. And if you see the interactions me and Big Bradley Hanks have had about Ronaldo and Coleman and these, you know, the decrease list on the match days as soon as things are happening is your best pal if you've got loose capital. But I do stress, guys, you only want to be taking advantage of these people after you've sold positions and you've got money sitting there. What I've done recently in terms of quick selling, you don't want to be doing unless it's absolutely necessary, guys. I would never recommend you quick sell anyone, really, unless, you know, they're just hemorrhaging you money. Maybe you bought Ronaldo at £9.15 before the Atletico game. You should have probably quick sold him by now, because getting him back to £9.15 is going to take you a long time. If you're happy to wait, cool. But what I would have said is, when people are on that down, you can release that money, put it somewhere else, make your money back, and then try and catch these people while they're still low, if that makes sense. Kind of what we've done with Eriksen. I've updated the Eriksen sheet, but I'll run that through with you guys after Rafael Leao's match tonight. We'll see how he gets on, and I'll update you on the Eriksen situation. It basically looks like, guys, it says £4.88. My maths make it closer to £450 liability on Eriksen, which means we're actually in a pretty good position with him at the moment. So it was just I was going to do the video yesterday, but Ronaldo's still dropping. I wanted to hold off for that. I wanted to hold off for the Europa League second leg's getting polished off. And also, guys, it's just been a really manic week for me. I've been mega busy with work and life and everything else. But I want to say again, guys, thanks for everyone who subscribes to the videos and watches them. It really, really means so much. If you could subscribe, like, share. If you find me on Twitter, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.